What's your mindset with the immigration? I mean, we're opening our
Oh,
doors. We're opening our doors on a daily basis to. I think it's four. Is it, if I'm correct me if I'm wrong. 4,000 immigrants a day coming into this country. We don't have the space. Ford in Ontario is opening up the green belt. Those two construction companies that the green belt was open to were at his daughter's wedding
of course they were.
less than a year ago, giving a nice envelope. How
Huge.
it's so fucking corrupt. It's so fucking
But
corrupt.
it's they know that they can get away with it. That's why they do it openly like that because they know there's no repercussions. No one's going to do
There
anything.
isn't because everybody there's this uproar and a protest happening. There's actually protests happening today in the green belts, and it's so crazy because the first thing they already said, oh, if this happens again, we will be more control of it next time. There is no next time. They're going to build fours. I think 400, four
Yeah.
thousand or 400,000 homes. I don't even know what the number is. Some
Hmm.
crazy number, and 4,000 immigrants, and they're not controlling where they are. So how it works, and I'm sure you're aware of it. There's two ways these immigrants are coming in, either through education or through opening up a business or investing into a business. In
Or just
Ontario,
walking across.
yeah, but a lot of it's the government's getting pocketed money on this, right? If you come in and you fund a business or you open a business, you got to invest 1.2 million in Ontario. But if you go to another province like Nova Scotia, you're investing 250,000. But you only have to invest in that business for 1 year, and then you can move the business to Ontario. So they're all migrating to Ontario.
Mhm.
And it's getting like I live here. I live in Brampton, Ontario. It's so overpopulated. It's crazy right now, and it's just
Yeah.
getting more and more and more and more, and you're seeing it just growing, 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 and there's no control over it. There's no
See,
control over it.
we have them just walk across
Yeah,
the
huh?
BC border of Washington. They just walk through the forest, right? And then they say asylum, and that's how it works. Like it's not difficult to do. You can walk into Canada. We don't have like a real border. I can
Yeah,
quite literally right now get off this Zoom with you and go across over to America and hop a ditch. I'm not kidding. It's a fucking ditch. So we don't take it seriously.
yeah,
Our immigration policies are garbage. And you've seen that.
yeah,
If our country and the people that were running it truly cared about Canadians, they would stop the immigration dead in its tracks
yeah.
because we don't have the money to fund it. We don't
I
have the
know.
money to look after them. We don't have forget the money. We don't have the space. We don't have the housing. We don't have the economic support and ability to support them. And even if they come in with a business, let's talk about Vancouver for a second.
Yeah,
Jokes all the time about Vancouver, all the time, constantly. People think I'm horrible for it, but I can't help but joke because at this point, if you don't laugh, you're going to cry.
yeah,
This side of the country, you know how you guys speak French?
yeah,
English, we speak Mandarin, we speak Farsi, we speak Pashto, we
yeah,
speak Cantonese,
yeah.
and maybe English if you're lucky. So there's no French. Forget it. That's not Canada's second language. We don't have a second language. Why? Because we don't have a culture. Canada has lost its culture. We do not, when I look at the world, I think about Mexico. Immediately I go, beautiful colors, warm loving people, tacos, these beds, that's Mayans. I think about Germany. It's sketchy stuff. But Germany has a culture. You
Yeah.
look at anywhere else in the world, they have a culture. America has a culture,
Yeah.
right? Don't tread on me, my guns. They have a culture. Whether
Yeah.
you're a liberal down there or not, that's on you. I mean, they have their own woke culture. They've made their own culture. And then you come to Canada and I go, are we? And
Yeah.
no one can answer me that because most people are not from here. We've taken some of the most immigrants in this world, and people are going to be like, well, you're horrible. You should be welcoming people. Well, we should be if they weren't literally getting paid more than the average veteran, if they weren't getting paid more than the average veteran that is homeless, which is 1 in 3,
Yeah.
if they were actually doing some work. But instead, what we have is we have people from China come over and they have to they buy property here and then they leave it empty.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
leave it empty and we charge them a separate tax, but that tax doesn't really matter because
No.
it's about having a foothold in the country, just like they do to America by buying up all their farmland and no one knows it outside of Air Force bases. So
Yeah.
the problem with immigration when it goes unchecked like this is it's not only a strain on the system, it's a strain on the people in the country that have no say about the amount of people that come to this country. I get refugee status. I fully respect it. I'll take it all day. You're welcome in my books any day. There's a difference between refugee status and immigration.
Yeah. Huge
Refugee
difference.
status.
Huge. Yeah.
Right? So look at Syria. We brought tons of Syria. I go around here. There's more Ukrainians where I live, people from here. There's more people from India from here than there are people from here. And that's not to say there's a problem with it. It becomes a problem when it's a burden on the system. And then the people that are from here that pay taxes here, that don't just take from here, but also pay for here, it's a problem.
Yeah.
Problem for me. I'm sorry. When my son goes to school and he's literally like 1 out of 5 white kids that is there and nobody else wants to speak English to him, get the fuck out of here. Stop telling me that we need to do more. No, if you're coming here and you're not coming as a refugee, escaping a war-torn country, you need to stand up if you're going to be Canadians. Don't tell me I don't get to have the Canadian national anthem anymore because it doesn't go with your culture. You're in Canada. Learn English or learn French. And if you don't like it, bye, go back. I'm so sorry, but I'm not going to sit there and argue with you like my neighbor who lives behind me, who speaks zero English. Here, I have to argue with him about a bee's nest. And he still, after a decade, has not learned English or just doesn't care.
I think it just doesn't care. There's no need to.
Not out here. If you go to Richmond, there aren't English signs. It's Cantonese and Mandarin, period.
Yeah.
It's like mongering, but it's not. You have to understand our country is being wiped out.
I'm 1,000% on your side. 1,000. There's not even a question. We argue about this on a regular basis. We talk about this in the office on a regular basis. I talk about this with my family and friends on a regular basis. And oh God, everything you're saying is just hitting home. And when you talk about respecting where you are, understanding who you are. And the thing is the government is, like you said at the beginning of this podcast, is aiding in that, where they're wiping out our history. So they're wiping it out, and then these immigrants are coming in. They stick to their own culture. They protect, they support their own culture, and then they're coming in financially with enough money, or they're getting enough funding from the government where they're buying up everything. In Ontario, all the farms are being bought up. All the businesses are being bought up. All the buildings, industrial, commercial buildings are being bought up. It's just like, and you're sitting here as an entrepreneur. I've been an entrepreneur for 27, going on to 28 years. And it's like, what the fuck is happening?
And you can't stop it. And that's the crazy thing.
You cannot even slow it down at this point.
No, you can't. And that's where it comes back to, well, they realized that they were dumping too much money here on properties and leaving them empty, or leaving their unsupervised teenagers here to drive the Lamborghinis 180 kilometers down Granville Street. They're doing that, and that's okay. But when we say we want you to learn English, or we want you to support the country, or we want you to pay taxes, or we want you to participate, that's not okay. They don't allow that. So this year, my son's school, he went into grade 1. Okay. And, I remember it was right around like Diwali time. Out here, we have a massive Indian population, absolutely ginormous. Okay, just huge.
Have you ever been to Brampton, Ontario?
I'm from Ontario. I'm born and raised there.
I know that, but
yeah.
Brampton in the last 5 years is massive. Like, to the point where the last Diwali, there was so much fireworks here that they've actually brought up. They're bringing up a law against it now for the fireworks on Diwali because it was out of control. Yeah.
So I said to, well, we're going to celebrate Diwali at the school.
Yeah.
Said, well, no, you're not, because last time I checked, this is a public school, and we don't do religious affiliations. Because if that's the case, well, my husband's Jewish, so let's rock Hanukkah. Yeah. I'm recovering Catholic, so obviously Christmas. So then what else do we got that we can roll out? Are we doing Jehovah's Witness stuff? What else are we doing? Because this is not what I sent I did not send my son to a Catholic school. I did not send him to a religious affiliation. That means you don't get to sit there and push it on. Well, a lot of people, no, not a lot of people. Fuck that. Stop it. I'm shocked the Canadian flag is still flying most days. Yeah. I'm shocked it's not flipped upside down in distress. Like, for example, my cul-de-sac, every year they paint, 2 car sizes of an entire Canadian flag in the cul-de-sac. You can see it from the air. It's unbelievable.
That's
right?
awesome. Yeah.
They paint it. This year, everyone's out there painting, and I'm sitting in there and I'm just watching. And oh, Kelsey, how's it look from over there? I said, you need more red. Just go all the way over the white. You don't need it anymore. And my point is this country is not Canada to me. This country is a melting pot, and I don't know what the culture is. It's not. I just, if you're going to be here, try to be here. Stop trying to pretend and turn it into wherever it is that you had come from.